Greetings. This video will help you with your classwork on Google Classroom. The United States Constitution, preview of CRA. Why is the Constitution such an important document? Use two details from the text to support your answer. The United States Constitution. The United States Constitution is the highest law in the nation. It is a set of rules that Americans live by. In 1787, a group of Americans did not like how their new country's government worked. They sat down to write new rules for the government. Among those were Ben Franklin and George Washington. The men met at Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania during a hot summer. Sometimes they had disagreements. They had to work hard to solve those disagreements. When they finished, they had written the country's constitution. Next, the Constitution had to be approved by the states. After a few years, the states voted in favor of the Constitution. It was now the law of the land. According to the Constitution, an election for president must be held every 4 years. The Constitution also says that the United States must have a Congress and a Supreme Court. Congress makes laws. The Supreme Court decides if laws are correctly written and followed. The Constitution promises important rights to the American people. These include the right to believe what you wish and the right to say what you believe. These promises are listed in the part of the Constitution known as the Bill of Rights. Here is a hint. The CRA is a why question looking for the cause, and you must give your opinion or claim and support it with two details from the text. Here is the next passage. The election of senators. First, I want to preview the CRA. How did the way senators were selected change from 1913 to the present time? The present time means now. Use two details from the text to support your answer. The election of senators. Each state has 2 senators who are elected to serve 6-year terms. Every 2 years, 1/3 of the Senate is up for re-election. To be able to run in an election for the Senate, one must be 30 years old by the time one takes the oath of office. A citizen of the U.S. for at least 9 years, and a resident, that means you live there, of the state from which one is elected. These qualifications were established in Article 1, Section 3 of the Constitution. Most states have primary elections to decide which candidates will be on the November general election ballot. Some state parties hold conventions in conjunction with the primary. If a candidate is unopposed, there may not be a primary election. Those who represent a major political party are automatically placed on a state's primary ballot. Minor party candidates are chosen by their party's rules, while independent candidates nominate themselves. Independent candidates and those representing minor parties must meet various state requirements to be placed on the general election ballot. An example of this would be to submit a petition with signatures from a certain number of registered voters. Before 1913, senators were chosen by their state legislators. The founding fathers believed that since the senators represented the state legislature should elect them. The 17th Amendment to the Constitution requires senators to be elected by the plurality rule. That is, and they're talking about the plurality rule, the person who receives the highest number of votes wins. In some states, this may not necessarily be a majority of the votes. For example, in an election with 3 candidates, one candidate may receive only 38% of the vote, a number 32%, and the third 30%. Although no candidate has received a majority of more than 50% of the votes, the candidate with 38% wins because she or has the most votes, the plurality. In other states, there is no majority. There is a runoff election between the top 2 candidates.